This is DDS. From the DDS studios, we are your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and joining us via phone today, Matthew Two-Tone Blue Parker. Parker, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. This is like height of Rona type stuff where I'm calling in instead of video, but yeah, ready to go. Head back from Franklin.
There you go. There you go. We want to thank you guys for joining us today for our reaction to the NFL schedule releases. This has kind of become a big thing here lately. We're going to kind of give our reaction, particularly to the hometown Titans here, as well as maybe some of the AFC South here, and just kind of some of our general impressions of the schedules that have been released. Maybe Parker has some winners and losers for us too. Ooh. But before we get started, go ahead and hit like and subscribe for us on YouTube. Give us a rumble on Rumble, and check us out on all your favorite podcasting platforms, as well as on TikTok. Yes, I said TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Newberry.
Yes, sir.
We got some schedules.
We got some schedules, and week one, let me tell you what fun Nashville's going to have. They get to open up this NFL season. They welcome the new look New York Giants.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Parker is the bet here, over 30 rushes.
For Derrick Henry, sure.
There may be 60 combined rushes.
Saquon, I expect him to get about 6 before he gets hurt. But y'all, this is my favorite draw. There's not really a team I would rather play first in the first week than the Giants. The only downfall about this, there's not a whole lot of tape. You know, they got a new coaching staff. You got to go back and watch Buffalo offensive coordinator there when Brian Daboll was over there to figure out what they might try to do. So the negative thing is there's no tape for the Titans to look at, but also the positive thing is they haven't played any games together. So maybe they, haven't gelled yet.
Yeah. I mean, I know we were talking a little bit about this before the show. I don't mind playing the Giants first, but it does worry me whenever you start looking ahead to week 2. Newberry brought it up. Are they going to be looking ahead? Are they going to take their eye off the ball? Are they going to do what the Titans do sometimes? Well, I guess maybe more times than not over the last few years, and maybe have a misstep early in the season against somebody they should never lose to.
Look, this is a Mike Vrabel coach team. They will not overlook week 1. Everyone's going to be pumped up about the opening game of the season. Home game. The Titans will be ready. I believe the Titans will put on a show week 1.
I like it.
I also, that Vrabel point's good. I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't have my computer, but when there's more than 7 days worth of rest for Vrabel, I believe he is 10-2, and he does not lose when he has time to prepare. Not often. He did last year to the Cardinals. It does happen, but it's not Vrabel like.
Well, you just said it, because week 2 he'll have more than 7 days to prepare as the Titans go to Buffalo, and they will play on Monday Night Football against the Bills.
Yeah, they'll be on the big stage there. Kind of a bit of a rivalry starting to develop here between Buffalo and Tennessee. Last time they came to Nashville, I don't know, Josh Allen just couldn't seem to get it done. That's all I got to say about that. Foot slip, I don't know about that. All I know is everybody played on the same field and they got stuffed. Big Jeff in the house.
You say rivalry. To have a rivalry, the Bills.
Yeah, Here we go.
Because the trash can city that is Buffalo is owned by Nashville. I can go through stat after stat. Last year, stuff by Big Jeff. Year before that, pandemic year, we went on a Tuesday. Like, we play very well against this Buffalo team. Bring it. I'm more worried about the Jags and the Jets and the Texans of the world than I am the Bills.
Whoa. Early in the show, Parker just dropped a bomb.
He power bombed them through their own damn tables.
I mean, seriously. Parker just dropped a freaking nuclear bomb on these guys.
He just said that he is more worried about the Jets and the Jaguars than the Buffalo Bills. What you gonna do, Bills fans?
Light the table on fire.
That is real talk.
But here comes, this might be the slip right here. If you look at week 3, short week at home against one of the AFC West opponents, the Las Vegas Raiders. Sandwiched in between the Bills, and then you're looking ahead at the Colts. This might be the slip-up game. I think week 1 they got it.
I mean,
I'm more afraid of week 3.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just don't know that I'm that worried about it.
Okay.
I just don't. Now, what would worry me if we're playing what ifs? You come off a big victory against Buffalo. Now I'm worried. Again, I look at this as another game. It's like, really shouldn't lose this game. But as we all know, Titans have the tendency just to let that guard down a little bit too much sometimes whenever they're coming off a big victory.
I think Blake said it perfectly. If the Titans lose to the Trash Can City, they will beat the Raiders.
Oh,
if the Titans win, I think they'll lose. And I know we're months away from doing a prediction show, but early on, I think different this Vegas team. I really think, and I mentioned this to Brad, and I mentioned it to your brother. I really think the Vegas might win this division. I really do.
Wow.
It's so difficult. They're going to beat each other up. The winner could come out at 10-7. 3 of the teams could be 10-7. It could be a coin flip to who the tiebreaker is. I don't see a reason why KC's heads up, shoulders above anybody. I think they're going to. KC comes in 3rd or 4th in this division. I think this is a Raiders-Chargers debate as of right now, but obviously my thoughts of that could change.
Then moving on to week 4, the Tennessee Titans. They start a 2-game road trip. They'll be making their way to Indianapolis and facing Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts.
The savior of Indianapolis. He's coming. He's there. Everybody, don't worry. Don't worry. Matt Ryan is here. That was a joke.
I mean, yeah. You want to talk about versus. This is the Jonathan Taylor versus Derrick Henry game. And I'm tired of hearing about Jonathan Taylor because Derrick Henry was up on him by like 600 yards when he got hurt last year. So I do think the Titans will split with Indy. It just depends on which ones.
Let's not do that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Then their second leg of that is going to be the Commanders. Washington Commanders and Carson Wentz.
I just feel like for some reason, little games like this against teams like Washington, those tend to be the ones that the Titans will go out there and shit the bed. They really will. I know they will. They just can't seem to keep it together against teams that are clearly inferior to them, but they seem to always find a way to make it, I guess, less they put less emphasis on games like this for whatever reason. And Vrabel knows it. He prides himself on keeping everybody ready to play and all that stuff. And I mean, the stats bear it to be true, but there's always a Jets game from last year. It seems like where we always we find a way to shit the bed. We just find a way. We find a team. We say we find one of the worst teams on our schedule, and we say we're going to lose to that team this year. It's like it's predetermined almost. But hoping that we, as a fan, we're hoping that isn't the case. But we have to stay mindful of it, and hopefully by staying mindful, we're able to avoid it in the end.
You're right. This could be the Jets game because Washington could have a top 3 pick next year. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Oof.
Wentz is that bad, y'all. He really is.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Do I?
Dude, come on. Really? How much more of a body of work do we have with Carson Wentz to be able to finally put that whole thing to bed and just be like, dude, this guy is the biggest fraud to ever step foot on an NFL field?
I mean, I can name some others.
Yeah.
They went and traded for Wentz, and I'm not sure they got an upgrade. Heineke might be better.
That was my thing. I mean, I put a tweet out whenever that happened. I said, did they really just trade for Carson Wentz? Voluntarily?
It felt like it felt like they traded for the same guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like an upgrade. It felt like a lateral move to me.
Yeah, every bit of a lateral move, if not just a little bit backwards.
So what do you guys think about this? The bye week comes fairly early here on October 16th, and they turn around and they play the Colts again. Does this feel weird?
It does for me because I don't know why, but we always, and this is, I mean, it actually comes up maybe again here later in the year, but playing these division opponents so close together, it can either work in your favor or it can really screw you. You know, if Indy's really struggling early, I guess this could be a good thing.
The thing that sucks about it's the bye week.
I know,
right?
dude.
Yeah.
Week 6, that's the earliest bye week in the league. Last year it was week 5. They've moved all those to 6. The Raiders, I believe, are also at 6. If you get this is if we're talking winners or losers, this is my loser. Are the teams with this bye week? If you want to get to the Super Bowl, if you're playing in the Super Bowl and you don't have a first round bye, if you have a bye in the week 6, you have to play 15 games in a row.
Wow. Good point. Never really thought about that. Parker dropping the knowledge on us.
That's a lot of football.
Yeah, it is. A lot of football. It's a long year. The NFL season just keeps getting longer and longer.
That's a long year for all the rookies.
Yeah.
Traylon Burks. That's
Yeah.
a long year for that
It's a
guy.
long damn year. That's for sure.
Well, then they maybe get a break, right, with the Texans? Or is that even a break anymore? The Texans are playing tough.
I'm on the fence about the Texans at the moment. I am reserving my opinion at the moment. You'll have to tune in to our AFC South prediction show to have my full take on that whenever we record that. But I'm kind of, the jury's a little bit out on the Texans for me at the moment. I think Davis Mills is. I think he's better than most people expected, and he may be even better than we've even seen thus far.
Will the real Davis Mills please stand up? Please stand up. Because there's no way this guy have a flash in the pan. There's no way that's his same year. If he does, play this again, and I will just admit to being wrong. I just surely to God, he just wasn't good in college. It doesn't translate that well. I think the Texans are going to be bad. I'm not worried about it, but yet again, the Titans went 5-1 in the division last year, and guess who their one loss was to?
I know. I mean, that's my initial feeling also, is that, I feel like the Houston Texans are probably going to be pretty bad. But then again, I don't know why we, the Tennessee Titans, have to be the ones to shit the bed. Like I was telling you just a minute ago, we always find 1 or 2 games on the schedule to screw ourselves on. But my initial thought is they're going to be bad, but I still have some questions.
And then trick or treat, we flip the calendar to November. And this is Parker's favorite part of the schedule here. Blake, listen up. It's Titans at Chiefs, Broncos at Titans, Titans at Green Bay, Cincinnati at Titans. What a 4-game stretch.
Yeah, we always seem to have a stretch in our schedule that it's like murderer's row. I mean, we're staring down the gauntlet and being like, "Phew." And the weird thing is it seems like the Titans always find a way to win 1 or 2 of these games,
or 4 of them.
In some years we win all of them. And so, I mean, you start finding out who you are playing a section of the schedule that's this competitive, and you start to figure out, are we arriving at the peak of our season? Are we on the right trajectory? Because, I mean, at some point you're going to have to play these kinds of teams. And I think this is a good I think if we're going to have a stretch like this, I think this is a good time to do it.
Parker,
right in the middle.
What are your takes on November for the Titans?
But you know what? Last year we had this exact same type of thing, and I said, let's just go 2-2, fellas. We go 2-2 and win, and we went 4-0.
Yep.
It's difficult. I mean, but it is really difficult. It's a difficult stretch, but if you look at it, it's difficult really, and not just maybe in name only. Like the Chiefs are still going to be good, but what are they without Tyreek? We don't know that yet. The Packers, when they don't have Devontae and they didn't really replenish their wide receivers. And Cincinnati, I think we can all agree they may have been a little bit of a flash in the pan last year. They got outgained in every single game in the playoff and yet still somehow made it through. Yeah, they're going to be difficult games, but I think they were more difficult last year than they would be this year.
I could agree with that. The one that I have the biggest question about is Denver. What does that look like now with a new quarterback in there?
Look who's at the man cave.
Yeah. We're going to let him join.
We're going to do it through the phone here. I don't have my computer hooked up, but I wish we got Denver. I wish we got Denver early, kind of like the whole Giants thing with the new coach and all that. By then they're going to be Denver. You know what I mean? Like Jerry Jeudy's been arrested. If he's been suspended, he's going to be playing by then. Russ is going to be cooking. They're going to have it figured out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That stretch will tell us a lot about where we are, not only, I think, in our progression in the season, but also in our progression as a team as a whole, and kind of maybe what direction this team's going to be going in moving forward.
Yeah,
because I mean that's we got to be able to win the big games, right? And those are, that's a tough stretch right there.
So after November, they get to begin December by saying hello to an old friend, A.J. Brown. They're going to Philadelphia against the Eagles.
Yeah, this is sure to be a pretty raucous game. I think it's probably going to get pretty chippy.
AJ's going to be pumped.
Oh, he's 100% going to be pumped. He's going to be out for blood.
The crowd will be booing both teams.
Absolutely.
The Eagles may be.
I'm pretty sure if Jesus Christ walked on the field, they'd probably boo him and throw batteries at him.
Oh, yes.
So, that's just your typical Philly crowd, though. But the game against A.J. Brown, I think it's one of those things that secretly, I think some people are probably circling that on their schedule because they want to see did the Titans make the right choice? Can Treylon Burks go out there and have a great game in a hostile environment? Does it mean anything that A.J. Brown's on the other side? Not really, but I think symbolically it would be nice to go out there and, have Christian Fulton shut him down and then have Treylon Burks have a great game. Then
who? That guy that's always on the bench hurt? Who?
Yeah. Okay.
All the horrible draft picks that you talk about.
Are you talking about Farley?
Farley, Fulton,
Fulton.
Maybe it was Fulton that was like couldn't
Fulton
play.
had a great year.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
And by that time, Austin Hooper will only have 15 catches, and I'll be well on my way to 50.
Sure you will. Hey, even with them drafting the tight end, I'll still take that bet.
Wow.
You heard it here, folks. Over 66 and a half catches. I'm taking
45. We go back and review it. I already did it. You said 30. I said 60. I said we'll meet in the middle then. So A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown revenge game, but I had news for you. A.J. Brown soft tissue injury at that point. We're weeks into the year. He's never played a full season. I think that's one of the main reasons they said, screw this, let's just cut bait and go. He may not be out there.
He may not be.
I think that's a fair point. I mean, it's too many games into the year for him to be showing up to this game, right?
What the Titans want is a healthy Jalen Hurts. They don't want any part of Gardner Minshew.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Wouldn't you rather have the extra running back out there?
I don't have much to say about that because honestly, I'd say it's probably true. Personally, that's why I would rather play against Jalen Hurts. I'd love for Jalen Hurts to go out there and start trying to throw the ball.
I would rather play against Hurts long term than Hurts short term. I think he's more dangerous. I think he can hurt you more in like one game sample size than Minshew can, but over like a period of time, I think just purely passing. Obviously, I think Gardner probably better come.
Absolutely.
Well, then they get to come home to their homecoming game. The Jacksonville Jaguars come calling to Nashville, where they haven't won since I was 4 years old. Duval. The Jags and Titans it's just a fun game. I'll probably be up there again, meet Parker, pay my hundreds of dollars for an ass kicking.
Good God Almighty! I mean, I love that you called it our homecoming game.
That's what it is.
That is so appropriate.
Man, that game was
that.
over before 12 minutes to go in the
This
first.
game might be over. I mean, what is today? The 13th of May? It may be over right now. I'm just telling you.
But
homecoming games are homecoming games for a reason.
But Parker, just as weird as it feels like the Titans, both actually, because we haven't reviewed the Jags yet, but both the Jags and the Titans will be done playing the Colts before Halloween. This is the first time that these two teams meet, and we're in December.
I was going to say, I feel like this is really late in the year to be playing them for the first time. So, I mean, again, this is one of those things because we're going to turn around and play them again here pretty soon at this point in the year. And it can be good or it can be bad because if they're playing really well, you're going to be catching them twice while they're playing well, or if they've given up on the entire year, which that seems to be a trend down in Duval, then maybe we're catching them at the right time.
3 of the last 5 games are against Texans and Jacksonville, and it does seem weird. It must have just been how the schedule fell because I'm glad to be getting Indy early, honestly. As a fan, I'd rather have it this way, even though it seems weird, just because the savior Matt Ryan's got to jail, right? So get those games out of the way. Hey, maybe Bradley, we can meet up again and we can do this from a little tailgate area.
Ooh,
I'll be there.
Oh man, listen, I saw Newberry perk up over here.
Percolate.
Never mind. I was gonna take a shot, but never.
No, he was gonna take a shot.
We got plenty of days and months.
Yeah,
to
there's
take
plenty
shots.
of room for that. Don't worry.
Oh, it was so good one thing.
The Titans will take their shot at going out west after this homecoming game,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll meet old Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
And the LA Chargers. I mean, there's a lot of hype around the Chargers again this year.
I mean, you can't doubt the talent that they have there. I mean, Justin Herbert is for sure.
Mike Williams, Keenan.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't even mention the running back Eckler yet.
I know. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, but it's one of those cross country games. Got to fly all the way across the country. Odds are stacked against. We did that last year against who was that team we did that against? It was like the guys that won the Super Bowl, right?
In the same stadium.
Exactly. So I mean, we can do that. I mean, but it is really tough to try to do that on a consistent basis for obvious reasons. But I don't know. By that time, I think we're going to have a pretty good idea of what kind of team that the Titans has at that point, and whether they're going to be contenders or if they're going to be just another team in the middle of the pack.
Sitting here 4 months before regular season starts, if there was any game that I was the most sure about, it would be this game, and that we would lose it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you said something similar about that though last year. Whenever we went across the country to play the Rams.
Hey,
that's the thing. I mean, but the common knowledge or thinking says that is the case, right? I mean, that's hard for a team to have to do that.
I also think the Chargers are going to be really good.
It really seems like, I think we said on last year, y'all go check out last year's prediction show. I think we said that they were like maybe a year or two out. Like maybe if after a couple years they were going to be really good. And
Herbert's the real deal.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is a gunslinger through and through, and I think he's got the chance to be something pretty special.
After the West Coast trip, they get 2 back-to-back home games. They get to play on Christmas Eve against the Houston Texans, and then they, on a short week, a little Thursday night primetime football, hosting the Dallas Cowboys.
The boys are coming to town. The boys.
Blake, will you and your wife be there? Or will your wife want to be there?
We are really working on making that happen.
Oh,
so
jeez.
we're working on that.
Parker will be there with his
I'll be
there.
Yeah. So we'll see. I have a feeling my wife will be there regardless. Last year she went to a freaking game.
It was the Jags.
I know. She left me at home. But like, gee, thanks. Appreciate that. Very emasculating. But anyways, yeah. So who are they
They
playing?
just gotta
Houston on
get their
Christmas
business
Eve.
done against the Texans, and then
Yeah.
you look at who knows the Cowboys may be in it, may not be in it. Who I don't know with them.
The Cowboys are always a hot mess, and you know, I got something here that the strength of schedule that I'm pulling up here. And the Dallas Cowboys are second from the bottom as far as strength of schedule. And they're only bested by the Washington Commanders.
See, hey, look at that though. That's why they'll be in it, because the bottom four are all NFC East teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got to play each other. So the reason Dallas will be in it, even if they suck, is because the rest of the division's terrible.
Yeah. You kind of get an idea by looking at this list. Kind of just I mean, a lot of these teams or a lot of these conferences are kind of all bunched together here.
The AFC South is in the bottom.
Yeah,
the NFC East is in the bottom.
It's like, golly. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see that Dallas game just because I've got to know how to react properly in my house and contain myself if we go out there and whip that ass. And I also have to be nonchalant if they happen to pull out a victory.
Hey, let's all hope for the sake of Nashville and Tennessee that the Tennessee Titans do not have to win in week 18. They find themselves in the Indianapolis Colts spot, having to make that week 18 trip down to Duval. And we all know that's where nightmares come true. That week 18 game, it doesn't matter if they're 2-14, they're going to win and go to 3-14.
I don't know, man.
That's a death trap down there.
Jacksonville has so many demons that have to be exercised before that is even in the picture. And I don't think that's going to be the case in week 18, no matter what the scenario is.
I really hope it doesn't matter because they have that Thursday night game, the game before it. That means they'll have a 10-day break before they play Jacksonville. That means they can treat Jacksonville like a bye week since they didn't have one since week 6. That's what I really am hoping for, that it just doesn't matter. We're watching Malik Willis out there run around and Derrick Henry take 5 handoffs.
I was going to say that might be the first full game that Malik Willis gets right there.
That's a guaranteed loss for the Titans then.
Oh, wow.
If it doesn't matter, I don't care.
Wow.
Take it.
If it doesn't matter, I'd rather for Jacksonville win to get a worse draft stock.
I don't want the number 1 pick anymore. I'm tired.
Not a Bonkies there, you don't.
Yeah, if you can.
Doug Peterson, there's no way that happens with a real NFL coach, right?
Whatever.
Not a real coach.
I don't know, man. Balky's screwed. I mean, it's bad.
Hey, look, Balky season's over. Balky has nothing to do with this starting.
Yeah, but he's the one that gave him the Christian Kirk as the number 1 receiver.
That's old news. This is Doug Peterson and his coach's time to shine. Now we can not have to talk about Balky until next year.
Balky just cut the kicker that went 25 of 28, made 50-yard winning field goal.
You know what? I'll get to that later in our final thoughts. Don't take my final thoughts away. But since we're talking about the Jags, we've got I'm just going to run through it real quick. We won't do 29 minutes on the Jags. They open at Commanders. Carson Wentz, another nightmare. Look who's here. The Jags.
Final score 9-6.
He has nothing to say.
Nah, man, just win, baby.
I think you do win. I think that they're awful. I think y'all win. I think y'all start 1-0 sitting here looking at it right now.
All right, 1-0. And then Blake.
I can't wait to hear Bradley say, we're undefeated.
Okay, wait just a second. Week 2, home opener against a team that hasn't won in Duval since 2014. It's the Colts.
Here we go.
Could they go to 2-0?
They could. I think they could.
Parker.
As we sit right now, I will pick Jacksonville.
Yeah,
there's something about it. At some point, there's something about it.
Exactly. You can't deny it if it just keeps happening. I mean, there's something. I don't know. Y'all must spike their drinks or something.
It's not a college team where it's Alabama going to Vanderbilt and whipping them every time, right? Like they're supposed to be about equal. And Indy's obviously a better team, but they just can't win there. I don't understand it.
The Jags win by more than 7 every time.
I mean, the coach brought it up last time, and so did he cause a hex? Is it officially a hex?
The coach is mentally effed. But then this is the loss, the same as Parker mentioned. Week 3, they have to go to California, play the Chargers.
Yep.
I don't think the Jags have won out west. Actually, the last time they won out west, listen to this, Parker, was actually the last time that they won a road game in the States against the Oakland Raiders back then, and they closed that damn stadium down. 2019. That's the last time they won a road game.
Oh my God, that's so long ago.
That is so bad.
Dude, that's so long ago, we didn't even know the word Corona. Other than a beer.
Apparently it was on the back of cleaner bottles. I never saw it though.
Whatever.
Week 4, Doug Peterson gets to go to Philly. He's play them. Then they're at home.
Another chip shot for Philly.
Then they're at home against the team they haven't beat in 3 years with the Texans. Then they go to the Colts where they'll lose that game. Kind of a back and forth. Then they at home against the Giants. Who knows by then? You're catching the Giants week 1. I mean, they're either beat up.
They may have it together by then.
Be rolling. I don't know.
Yeah, I think week 1 is the week to play the Giants. That's why I'm totally happy with that.
And now the Russell Wilson trap game. Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos have to go to London. The Jags fare well in London. They know how to. They know how to do this trip.
Yeah, they do. They are the veterans. They are the veterans of the European games.
Up until last year when they finally won a game, I think we'd even talked about it. The game that they'd won previously to that, outside of the state of Florida, the most recent one was a London game.
Yeah. But they still don't have a bye yet here. Like your bye was like a month ago. But this sucks. London, they come back and there's still no bye.
So they're all beat up.
They come back, they're playing host to the Vegas Raiders.
Might have COVID, never know.
I mean, it is getting into that time of the year.
Yeah, it is.
I wish, and I know the NFL would never do this. And I talked about doing it with the COVID when it was they were postponing games. I wish the whole league would have the same bye weeks. I wish it would be week like 11. Just take it off, everybody.
Just a pause.
Just a pause. Middle of the season, and there's no advantage, no disadvantage for everybody. That's and just everybody knows what it is.
Always said, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Just have a week without football. What are we men gonna do? What are we gonna go shopping?
That's a good point.
Hey, it's a week longer too, though. You'd push everything else, right? No, you wouldn't. It'd still be the same. Yeah, it'd still be the same.
I'm not watching NBA.
Nope, no NBA.
I don't know. Yeah, they would never do it because they want to own the schedule all year round. But they try to make everything so fair. That is, to me, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, that's November 6th, and guess what? They still don't have a bye.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to go to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, where
that's a thumping. I mean, let's just say it. You're going to get your ass whipped.
I'm going to say it's a thumping because they're wanting that bye after this.
That's what I'm saying. It's a double whammy. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes
on the road, looking ahead to the bye,
and you're beat up. You're probably injured like hell by that point.
Trevor Lawrence played all 17.
Hey, I hope for his sake he makes it through this year too.
He's got Brandon Sheriff.
What week is that on the bye week?
The week is not until the bye is not until week 11.
Yeah, it's a little late. You'd want it like 9, right? 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. Which would have been right after they got back from Wembley Stadium.
That would be a perfect time for the bye week.
So, what's funny about that is they must have said they didn't want it because the NFL, I saw an interview with the schedule maker. They said, it doesn't matter when you want your bye. Like, screw you. We do it whenever we want, unless you're traveling overseas. And if you request it, then we're going to work with you. So, I wonder if they specifically were like, no, we've got this down. We're good.
That's probably Balky. Balky probably did it. That sounds like a Balky thing.
I don't think Balky has that.
Whatever.
He is.
It just sounds like a stupid decision that he would make.
No, that's a
no. He doesn't make. He doesn't make. Oh yeah, Shad Khan. He makes great decisions too.
Another team did it also. I think it might have been Seattle. I forget. But they said work. They didn't say guarantee you'd have it off if you wanted it. But they said that those are the teams they do work with.
Bye week. They get a little Thanksgiving turkey. I was hoping that either the Titans or the Jags were playing against the Lions. on Thanksgiving.
The Leons.
Neither one of them. Neither one of those teams are on Thanksgiving.
I
Thursday.
gotta say those games kind of stink. The Thanksgiving days.
Yeah, I've kind of grown not so fond of them as the years have gone on.
I mean, but you've got to watch them. It's Dallas.
I know, but like the Lions games, it's just terrible. It's just
I'm
terrible.
with you. I wish we were playing on them though. I like playing these Christmas and Thanksgiving. I like these weird games.
Oh, they'll have full bellies and play host to Calais Campbell and the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson.
It's another ass whipping.
Then they go to Detroit. After that, then they go to the Titans, which we already talked about with the homecoming game.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, they're going to get their ass whipped in Detroit.
Okay. And then they go to the homecoming game at the Titans. Then they play host to the Cowboys, who will be coming off.
Titans
Coming off the third? No, that's too
That's
early.
the week before, right?
That's week 15, the Jags versus Cowboys. So I think that they'll be looking ahead to the Thursday night matchup against the Titans. Maybe a little slip up for the Cowboys. And they go 0-2 back to back against the Jags.
That would be a game that they would lose. That sounds like a Cowboys thing to do.
And then all of America gets to see
the splendor
of the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Jets. Thursday night football. Amazon Prime.
If Amazon Prime. If there is a definition for pool noodle game, and I'm not going to offend anybody by describing what a pool noodle game is, it is this game. It is two terrible teams playing each other. That's what I mean. When it probably doesn't matter.
This game, even though it's a New York market, I'm going to tell you right now, in the modern era of football over the last 10 years, it's going to be the least watched NFL game.
Well, it is the Thursday before Christmas.
It's the third. Think about it. It's the Thursday before. It's going to be on only Amazon Prime unless in local markets. And like you said, it's before Christmas. Everybody's going to be shopping, and I mean, millions of people are still going to watch it. But it's the NFL. But they did this for a reason. They're not stupid.
Yeah. We'll get Parker's take on some other for a reason schedulings in just a second, but they round out their season with at Houston Texans. Then we've already touched on the week 18 game. They play host to the Tennessee Titans. Parker, give us some of your thoughts about some reasoning behind some NFL scheduled games.
I really take a look at the Cleveland Browns. If you look at it last year, before Aaron Rodgers decided to come back because he might retire, you know how many primetime games the Green Bay Packers got? You're allowed to get 5 max. They had 5 max. There is no way on God's green earth that the NFL was getting Jordan Love 5 primetime games. They knew the whole time he was coming back. So let's go look at Cleveland. Cleveland plays the Texans this year. So Seattle plays Denver in the very first game this year. They want to see Russell Wilson go to Seattle. So you want to see Houston and Cleveland play, right? You want to see that Deshaun Watson game? Why is it till week 13?
I wonder why, Blake.
Why is there a major primetime game late? Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended, and the NFL already knows it.
There it is.
Jeez.
I mean, why else would you wait until week 12 to give the people that matchup? Because they know they're going to suspend his ass. That's why. He's getting 10 games, and then there's a bye week, and then that'll be his first game back. It's going to be a big build around that game.
It's exactly it.
You heard it here, folks.
Can we bet on this? Because, specifically 10 games, out, done.
10 games, a bye week, and his first game as a Cleveland Brown is against the Texans.
Yeah, you're telling me last year when Tom Brady broke the record in New England, it was an accident? They know these things.
We've got analytics on top of analytics.
Oh, just a second. I'm getting a phone call here from my brother. Yes, the NFL is the WWE. It's scripted as hell.
It is. It's absolutely scripted.
Absolutely.
Well, anything else stand out from the scheduling? I mean, we got Amazon Prime this year. We've got CBS, Fox. We got the NBC crew.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Kirk. Did anybody like Kirk? I don't know.
I'm on the fence about
I
Kirk.
like Al Michaels.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about Kirk Herbstreit. I ever really particularly like listening to his voice in college, but maybe it was just because it was always a Southern California game that it seemed like I was watching whenever he was calling it.
I think he'll be fine. Now Michaels I trust. I think he's excellent, and it's just so different. I'm interested to see how it works, just because it's just any type of new broadcasting crew is always fun to watch. But you're talking other scheduling things is I thought was interesting. Obviously, the big thing in Kansas City, AFC West, there they have a potential of having 20 primetime games because you can have 5 per team. They've got 19. It's tied for the second most ever. This is ridiculous, by the way, y'all. 4 other divisions have had 19 primetime games, and 1 other division has had 20. Let me just tell you right now, all those divisions outside of the AFC West that had those amount were the same division. It was all the NFC East, which just shows you that they catered more to big markets than they do to good teams.
Yep, that'll always be true. But nonetheless, it'll be fun. It just gives us some more material to look at and banter back and forth.
Absolutely.
With a schedule release. Mark your calendars.
Yep.
Let's have some trips.
Hey, you know what else this means now? We got the schedule.
We're getting closer.
Now we're getting closer to our prediction shows.
Yes, we're getting closer.
You guys love those prediction shows, and we're going to have them up for you at some point. But thanks for joining us today for our reactions to these schedules that just got released. Go ahead and check us out on Twitter at DDS Sportstalk, as well as on Instagram and TikTok at DDS Sportstalk. Give us a like and subscribe down below on YouTube, on Rumble, and check us out on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Boys, any final thoughts?
I am really excited about the prediction shows because I have got some nutty stuff that I really think is actually going to happen.
My final thought, former Jacksonville Jaguar kicker Josh Lambo suing the Jacksonville Jaguars $3.5 million for emotional distress. And I say all of us as Jacksonville Jaguars should be a part of that lawsuit for emotional distress. Show me the money.
Sounds like a bunch of hooey, but I do know this. It is two-tone blue all the way. You guys be well.